Hello everybody, welcome back to another video. We are playing more Deceive Inc, but in this video, we're going to be going over all the gadgets that you can put on your agents, and which ones are good, which ones are bad, and which ones are just mediocre. And which ones are possibly the best combination. As you know, you can only have 2 gadgets at a time on an agent, so I was kind of debating how I wanted to do this video, but what we're going to do is go over each gadget one by one and see if they're actually useful or if they're just a waste of a slot. And then after we go over all of them, I guess we can decide which gadgets work well together and just go from there. So first, let's start off with the bounce mat, or the jump pad as I like to call it. And this can be semi-useful in certain situations, but you can either throw it and inflate it or just inflate it from wherever you're standing. So for example, if we're just running and we want to just inflate it automatically, we would just hit L2 or LT, whatever controller you're using, and it'll just activate. Perfect for getting to high areas if you were chasing somebody or trying to run away, and then after you can just deflate it and you can keep playing with it. Or let's say you're going to jump down from a high area. I don't know why you would do this, but let's say you're chasing someone, you're sensitive for time, and you got to jump down. What you can do is activate it right before you hit the ground, and you should be good to go. Now, is this gadget really useful? For me personally, I find myself never using the bounce pad when I had it on. I mean, sure, it can be nice for certain situations, but otherwise, I don't really see how it'd be useful unless you really want to make yourself known and spotted by other players. So for me personally, although it's a cool gadget, I'm going to say I don't think it's a good one. Next, we have the Spyglass, and I'm going to say off the bat, I believe the Spyglass is one of the most useful and best gadgets to have on your agent. And let me tell you why. You can do a lot of things with this Spyglass. One thing I love doing is hacking intels from far away. So I hack it from a distance. That way it makes it easier to just blend in while hacking intel, you know, if you want to walk straight. Because if you just go like this and you try to hack it manually from the front, you're going to look suspicious and people are going to notice you and you're going to get killed. They also work on safes. So if you want to open up a safe from a distance and not look suspicious, you can open it up, grab the item, and then walk away. And one thing I heard you can do with this, but I haven't not confirmed it yet, I'm going to try to do it later, is that you can revive your dead teammates with this Spyglass. I don't play team mode that much, but if someone can confirm whether this works or not, apparently you're able to revive your teammate using the Spyglass from a distance. Let me know if that's true. Next we have the shield umbrella, and the shield umbrella can actually be pretty good. So it basically gives you a shield in front of you, blocking you from oncoming bullets. You can either activate it by opening the shield or deploying the shield and put it down manually. Or if you rather just have it like this so you can move around with it. I think what makes it really good is you have the option to either set it down like this so you can pull your gun out and walk around. But if you decide to do things the manual way, you're able to move around and block it if they're trying to go around you and be really fast. The only thing is, once you put it away, you're going to have to switch to your weapon really quick to get the shots on them. Otherwise, they're just going to shoot you the moment it comes down. All in all, I think it's very useful, and I would say it's definitely a useful gadget to have. Next, we have the sentry turrets, and these turrets, although I find them quite annoying, I died to them probably a few times, but you have to set them down, so you deploy them, and it goes up as a turret. It also has a camera on it, so you can actually look in the camera. Now, normally the turret stays on the ground, but when it sees an agent, it actually rises up and starts shooting like a turret. Once it recognizes another player, it will start shooting at them, and the damage it does is actually not that bad. But it's kind of easy to avoid, because once you see it going off, you can shoot at it and it breaks pretty easily, or you can just run around into a different room and dodge it. The only way I could see you dying from a turret is if you're in an open area like this and you're in the middle of a fight and someone set down a turret, you're going to get shot at if you're already fighting and the third party with the turret. Although it's a very cool looking, nice gadget to have, I don't think it's one of the best. Next we have the Goo Pod. And the Goo Pod, I'll be honest, I never really used this one. I don't see how it would help me in certain situations unless you're really fast with the controls and you get it down quick enough. But what you do is you deploy it and it basically puts out slime, like Nickelodeon slime time. And what it's supposed to do is slow down their movements. You can see right now my movements is slowed down. I can pick them back up. Now I could see this being useful if you're in a room like this and you see an agent there, you can do that. But then remember, you have to switch to your weapon, and it affects yourself as well. So you're going to be slowed in your own slime. And I feel like that's what really kind of makes it not as good. But if you want to slow someone down, mess up their playstyle, I mean, I could see this working. You cannot jump while you're in this, so they will not be able to jump around. They physically have to just walk. So I would say it's a good gadget. Then we have the hack trap, and the hack trap apparently is able to trap the Intel computers if you want to trap them up. You just go up to it and do it like that. So when an enemy actually uses it, he will get shocked and blown out of his cover. And you can just pretty much walk around trapping everything up that you want. I don't know what's the limit on how much stuff you can trap at once. You can trap the ammo dispensary too. Okay, that's pretty cool. You're also able to trap up the health stations, and you can even trap up safes. Overall, this gadget can be very useful in certain situations depending on the map you are in. If you hack the more popular Intel computers that are more in populated areas, you might get a few hits and you might shock a few people. Next up, we have the Tripwire, and I'm going to say off the bat, the Tripwire is definitely worth it. One of the best gadgets in my opinion, and is very, very useful. How this works is you would throw it down like this, for example,
This is a good spot.
and it would connect like this. If you throw it down, if you throw two of them down and it doesn't connect, you don't see this line, then that means it's either too far apart or something's obstructing it. Typically, these work best for doorways or hidden areas. Now, how this works is if an enemy, let's say an enemy was walking and there's a door here, he opens the door, walks through. The second he walks through this, his cover is instantly blown. The reason why I say it's so good, because let's say I'm in a room looting up and I'm getting all my intel points. I would put the tripwire by the door, so if anyone walks in and it's a real player, they will instantly, cover will be blown, and I'll know. So I would say definitely one of the best gadgets in the game, and 100% worth it. Next we have the Mimic, and the Mimic is actually where you can scan an item. Let's scan this box, for example, and we can become the box. And let's say we wanted to hide and blend in with another object while we wait for enemies to come in the room. Look how much we blend in. Nobody would ever tell that we're a different person. If we wanted to come up here and become a box, we can do that as well. The items you can become, though, is quite limited. You have to see the box around the item so you know you're able to scan it. So if we scan this chair, then we want to come here and blend in. You can rotate the chair a little bit, and boom. It's kind of like Prop Hunt if you played Call of Duty or even in Fortnite. You can blend in, and that way you wait for an enemy to come in, and then you can pop out and shoot them. My only criticism I have of this gadget is I wish there was more items and stuff that we could scan to become, because apparently it's only limited to either boxes, chairs, or like little plants or little trees. But that's really it. You can't really become like anything else. Like if I want to become one of these stuff, you can't really do it. Next we have a signal scrambler, and this can be used to destroy other players' gadgets. So for example, if they have those turrets down or the trap with the slime on it or anything they have to manually place down, what you can do is deploy this, activate it, and anything within range will immediately get disabled. Now, although I can find this quite useful, I don't think it tops the other gadgets. I mean, I think it's a cool concept, it's a good idea for maybe very minimal situations, but it's not something you would really be using every match on every situation. And then we have the drone. Now, I actually, be honest, I never really used the drone in battle because I don't like any type of gadgets that slows my gameplay or where I have to remain stationary while I use it. But how it works is you would deploy the drone, and then you can fly it around. But as you can see, your character stays vulnerable. Now, if you're in decoy mode or you're in cover, you can be safe, but you have to be somewhere crowded, because if you're just standing there for too long, not moving, someone's going to get suspicious. And apparently this can shoot little zaps at you as well, which I don't know what those zaps would do. And then you can rise up, down, and stuff like that. I mean, I don't know if it's visible to the other players because I have yet to see one in a regular game of someone using a drone. But it can be good for recon situations, probably towards endgame when you want to recon the briefcase. I might try this out in a separate video and see how it will work. And then you could also shoot from it without even deploying it. You could just have it in your hand and it'll zap. And it doesn't even blow your cover as well. You can see I'm still in cover while I'm doing this. So that's quite useful to know. So we're going to play around with this in a separate video for sure. Now that we covered all the gadgets, which ones are best paired up together? The first pair I think is good together is the Tripwire and the Spyglass. I'm going to say Spyglass with literally every gadget you decide to use, because Spyglasses are just, I don't know, I just got in the habit of using them and they're so good and helpful. Makes you get things done without being more suspicious, and that's how I'm able to survive most of my games, especially to endgame, and not die so early because I don't get caught doing anything suspicious. Another good combination is the turret and the tripwires. So let's say, for example, you're in a room. Let's pretend there's doors here that are closed. And you can pretty much trap it up like this. And then you can put a turret down here. So while you have the turret down, you can be looting up, right? If someone walks in and their cover gets instantly blown because of the tripwire, your turret will recognize it, that it's an agent, and will immediately start shooting. Because once the other player walks in and gets his covers blown, he's going to start shooting randomly, repeatedly, because he's panicking now. So it's good to have sentry guns in the corner, shooting at him as well as you shooting at him too. They'll panic and won't even expect it. So I feel like the sentry gun and the tripwire could be a perfect combination. And then lastly, what I think could also be a good combination is the slime pods and the turrets. So you can do, for example, what we did just before. And you can only put one turret down at a time. And we're going to set that up. Let's pretend we're looting in a room and set up the slime traps within the room. If someone walks in and they're not paying attention, you can activate the traps. They get slowed down now, and they'll get shot at by the turret and shot at by you if you're watching them. And it can really slow them down. This trap can be good in close quarter spaces like these. And when you're in this, remember, you cannot jump, you cannot sprint. You are basically stuck getting shot by a turret, shot by you, and any other player that might be in the vicinity. But hopefully this video was useful and I wasn't just rambling too much. Let me know in the comments if I forgot to mention anything, what you think the best gadget combination is. And don't forget to hit that thumbs up if you guys enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.